I mean, but all of a sudden, A.J. Brown, Lance Johnson, everybody comes in, starts calling out Derek Gunn, saying, this isn't true. I mean, Barrett Brooks also heard that he had some struggles in camp.
Yeah.
What are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing that, he's had some struggles. I don't know if, I didn't get it as exaggerated, that he had that bad of a run. But I know he had some tough stretches out there. He's had some tough stretches. And that's why, sometimes, you can change, you can take chances. Maybe he's doing some things where he's trying to push the ball a little bit.
Time is not wasted when you're talking about him, man. I can't wait. I mean it. I cannot. So I'm going to read this comment here when we get JAKIB up here, and I want to hear if JAKIB has heard any of this here. And let's bring in my friend Garry Cobb now here on the National Football Show. JAKIB, I'm going to read you something here. Are you ready?
Am I ready?
Here we go.
Let's do it.
So Derek Gunn posted this on Twitter.
Yeah.
One person said, let me give you a scenario of what he went through in a day of practice. It was a 10-play scenario where he had 3 picks, 4 incompletions, and 3 sacks. Now, I said this. Okay, so we had a bad 10-play drive. I mean, but all of a sudden, A.J. Brown, Lance Johnson, everybody comes in, starts calling out Derek Gunn, saying, this isn't true. I mean, Barrett Brooks also heard that he had some struggles in camp.
Yeah.
What are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing that, he's had some struggles. I don't know if, I didn't get it as exaggerated, that he had that bad of a run. But I know he had some tough stretches out there. He's had some tough stretches. And that's why, sometimes, you can change, you can take chances. Maybe he's doing some things where he's trying to push the ball a little bit too much. Because when we were out there, what I saw with my own eyes, I saw him go deep a couple times, bombs on, he got him deep, one to Devontae, and he beat Slay. In fact, Slay got beat a couple times on the bombs, and both of them were Jalen putting it up, man. And he dropped it out there, and it was beautiful throws. So he was looking good when we were out there. But you can't take, some of that. You can't take it too far, because sometimes they'll tell him, hey, we want you to work on this. So go ahead. Don't worry if you throw a couple picks. We want you to get a feel for you. Push it a little bit. So there could be things where you can overemphasize that. Now, once they get into camp, then every day means something, because they are out there, they're working against each other, and the clock is ticking. So he has had some bad stretches where I've heard about, but I don't overemphasize that, because I've seen great quarterbacks have a bad stretch in practice. So I'm not going to overdo it, but I think there's some truth to what they said.
You think he could be experimenting too, trying to do things, trying to, again, last year, because the passing game was so limited.
Yeah.
When you hear Lane Johnson talking, and when you hear, AJ talking, they're saying that all the intangibles that we always go over and this and that. Could it be that he's just working on other things here?
Well, see, really, they tell you to do that. They tell a quarterback, go ahead and push it out here so you can see how far you can go. Like, when you can, how far you can go, let's say on a particular throw, to where it's going to get picked off if you throw it. And, this guy's got to be open to this extent, But we want you to push the envelope some so you know how far you can go. That's what practice is for. And really, I've seen some great quarterbacks go out there and push it, but you can't really take it. It's practice. Practice doesn't count. But it does say something that, he's learning. I mean, he is learning, and he really should push it out there, and rather than find out in the game. We don't want to find out in the game. You want to go in the game where you already know, if I do this, this is going to happen. But I know that how far can I go where I can still make that throw and get it in there, knowing that it's going to take some time for the ball to get there. How open does he have to be for me to throw the ball? See, you got to know that. So you want to push it. Plus, he's getting to know, AJ. He's getting to know him, They haven't played together that much. And for that matter, Devontae and he haven't played together a long time. So you're still getting to know these guys. So guys will tell you, come on, I've been out there with T.O. out there and those guys, you know what they say? Throw it, to where, and I will, protect you. But you got to push the envelope some. But the thing we all know, I mean, basically, they're not telling us any news. This is all about Jalen Hurts. That's what this year is about.
No, completely there. And the only thing I would say to you, Garry, is that with the limited amount of practices, though, that they go through, it accentuates some of the things that we're talking here. And I agree with you. Helmets and shorts, I mean, okay, 7 on 7. I mean, the 3 sacks, you probably got the clock and the timer going.
That's
probably
right.
Went past 3.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to do more in the read progressions. So I get all that, but is it concerning to you because they have such limited practice time and they're going to have limited practice time that you're hearing struggles a little bit? I mean, we're not even in gear yet, and here we are talking about in the sacks. The one comment of this comment here, it's not the picks, like you said. Throw it. Let's see what's up. To me, it's the sacks. Sitting there in the pocket and you're going past 3 seconds. If you're going past 3 seconds, that to me still tells me that he's going through the fundamentals still of being able to read progressions. Is that how you read that as well?
That's the way I read that. You better believe it. You're going to take some chances. Like I said, I've seen, great quarterbacks. They're going to take chances in practice because they're pushing things. But you don't want to see him holding on to the ball because now he's holding on to the ball that he didn't process the information to where, hey, get the ball out. And one of the things that, if I were a coach and I could talk to him, the one thing I would emphasize to him is, look, do not be ashamed of throwing the check down.
Yeah.
How many times has Tom Brady thrown the check down? He
His
doesn't
entire
apologize
career
for throwing the check down.
Guy won 7 Super Bowls in that check down game.
Come on, man. Get the ball out of your hands. If you got running backs who you like to get the ball in their hands running towards the defense, you get the ball in their hands and they can do something with it. You get plus yardage. You stay out of bad situations with those little ugly check downs, man. Don't be ashamed of the check down. Like I said, Brady, and you know who else mastered the check down? Joe Montana, the bro from the doggone Hall of Fame, man. Check down Charlie all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, man. I mean, there's no question that screen game with the Eagles has to improve. If you want to improve your distance game and your long passing game, that screen game's got to start coming around more. How about this one too, Garry? Don't you think it's a great sign now here? All of a sudden, something is said, and something so macro, you know what I mean? That said, that all of a sudden A.J. Brown and Lane Johnson, these guys are all rushing to the quarterback's defense here going, he's our guy, he's working hard, not true, this and that. To me, I think that's really something that's being formulated in that huddle and in that football locker room now, that you got that team really where it wasn't like this before with Wentz. This guy's galvanized that entire group. That's one thing, right, going into the 2022 season that you could say about Jalen Hurts is this. That team is together, and it really is because of the quarterback.
There's no doubt about it. And he's outstanding in this area. You see him at practice. He's outstanding in this area. He lets those guys know, look, we're all a team. And he's a quarterback's got everybody on board. They know that, hey, we're going out here and we're going to battle together. And so he's got all those guys with him. And so from that standpoint, there's no question that this team is in a special place right there. But the fact that we're talking about this now shows you this is going to be, hey, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I hope that he goes and he gets the job done and everything. But I'll tell you what, everybody's watching. Everybody knows that this team has the potential to be outstanding. The potential is there. And that's why they're going to be watched. They're going to be watched closely. But I think we're going to got a lot of fun up the road because it's going to be exciting, and they're going to be going for it. And we're going to see if Jalen can get it done or not.
You know what, Gary? I threw this topic out in the first hour, and I want to ask you this. July 11th, today, do you believe that Howie Roseman made that trade with the Saints to draft a safety, or do you believe today on July 11th that Howie Roseman is still set on taking a quarterback in next April's draft? Where do you think he's leaning right now going into September?
I think right now that Jalen has to prove himself. So I think he's looking at the quarterbacks. I think Jalen has to prove himself. I think Jalen knows he has to prove himself. So I think that, you know, and
you think Howie, as of today, Gary, is he's taking a quarterback, and it's up to Jalen to change his mind?
I think that's where it is right now. I think right now where it is, and he's got to do it this way. He's got to study those quarterbacks. He's got to figure as if I'm taking a quarterback. And that's his old mentality. I'm going to be taking a quarterback. Jalen, you tell me, no, you don't need a quarterback. You already got a quarterback. So that's where they're at right now. I think that they are preparing, that they will go out and they will get another quarterback. And that's, you know, but that's something they've got to do. They got to look over those quarterbacks. They've got to, you know, and there's some special guys out there. So they got to take a look at them. They got to know them through and through. That's the job right now for them. Now, if Jalen goes out there and plays the way he's capable, I think that he's capable of doing, takes his game to the next level, then they say, okay, you know what? We can invest these picks in other things. So, you know, I still think that they might take a quarterback, even if it's not in the top picks. I could still see him because I think they believe in it. They believe in that position, and I really couldn't argue with them.
No, Gary, if I was a general manager, and I was a GM in today's NFL, I would draft a quarterback in every single draft I had, because you never know in the 6th round when you land on Brady.
Yeah, you're right.
You just never know when you land on a Kirk Cousins in the 4th round.
That's right.
And so those guys, it's a premium position. And it's, Gary, why is that the hardest position to evaluate, in your opinion?
Well, because I think that, you know, of course, the pro game is different than the college game. And you don't know.
In the college game, you tell the kid where to throw the ball. In the NFL, you've got to know where to throw the ball.
Well, the defenses are tougher. You know, defenses are going to compete for everything. You have enough defensive personnel, you know, where you can cover guys and where, hey, look, these guys, a guy's open. You know, it's that much in the pros. Now, it was that much in college. But in the pros, it's that much. That guy's open. We got to get the ball to that guy. Wow. So the competition is tougher. There are more things that are going on. You're playing the game in your head. It's happened so fast. You know, so it's a difference, a major difference. And the quarterback position has to do so many things. He's got to make so many decisions before he even gets the ball in his hands. Comes up to the line of scrimmage. It's a mental game, and that's why, you know, guys like Brady, once they learn the mental game, they don't ever want to retire.
No, I mean, the thing that fails these guys is their body. Final question for you. Nicoby Dean, how would you work him into a rotation? Would you play him more on 1st and 2nd down? Or, Gary, for you as a linebacker in the NFL, is it more complex on reading the passing game or playing the run game? Is that easier for a guy like Dean to be able to get his feeling for the game? Because today's passing game, it is so complex. When you're throwing in the slot, you're going to tight ends now. You're You're seeing all these guys go to the line of scrimmage and pre-snap snap stuff. It's so different than when we even played.
Yeah.
How do you work him into the rotation?
Well, that's going to be interesting. I wonder because depends on how they think about it. They're probably going to see him doing more in the passing game because I think that's where he's probably best at right now.
Lining up on tight ends and backs.
Lining up on tight ends and backs. And plus, I think that he's probably going to be pretty good when it comes to calling the defense. See, he's got a good feel for that, and he's very, very smart when it comes to looking at formations. It's all about formations. They come out in different formations. Who they like out of different, different formations. They like different people. They like different plays. A lot of times the formation tells you kind of what they're going to do. And listening to him talk, he was talking that way right away. I hear him. I say, okay, this kid, he understands the game. So I can see him. He's definitely going to be in there on third down. No doubt about it. He's going to be in there. But the way the league is right now, you're probably going to just put him in there, because on first down, they do everything they do on third down. The offenses are so wide open that you want to put him on the field, let him get as much of as he can.
You think he could beat TJ Edwards out?
I think he could because he's probably stronger against the pass. You need a guy that can run. You need a guy that can really cover, because if you got a linebacker that can cover, then it allows you to play more things. There's more things you can do. You don't have to give him help. You can give help to that number one that you want to take away, the number one wideout that you got to take away. So if you got a good coverage linebacker, gives you more freedom in the coverages and different things you can do. And plus, he's a good blitzer too. So they're going to let him blitz some too, because it keeps an offense honest. So I expect him to be out there. I think it's going to be tough for TJ to beat him out because he's a real good cover guy. That's the strength of his game, is against the pass.
Garry, I'm going to end with this. I had somebody ask me in Miami on the Herald, what's one of the best high school areas for sports? I said ours, man. I went like this. I go Fairfield County, man. I mean,
yeah.
Between playing at Boyle Stadium and at Cubetta, playing at all those places. Garry, am I right when I say this? I don't know if it's a football city or a baseball city. I just know this. Those two sports, man, if you're a good player in those areas, you're going to be found. I mean, guys like yourself and Bobby Valentine and all them dudes, man. I mean, that was a great area we were raised in. We were so fortunate.
Very, very, very fortunate. And there are quite a few kids that come out of there and made it to the pros, and guys coaching and doing different things. So it really is big on sports. And I couldn't say enough about all of the help I got from the great coaches that coached me from when I was a little guy, 7, 8 years old, man. And
did you know Mike Sherman was a coach at Stanford High?
That's right.
Dude, he was like I was like, Mike Sherman, the coach of the Packers.
That's right.
He was an assistant coach.
That's right.
At Stanford High School. And I'm like, what?
That's right.
I had no idea he was.
That's right. Got a lot of guys came out of there, man. And definitely a great area for sports, man. You can't say enough about it.
Absolutely. Garry, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
You got it. Garry Cobb from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. My friends, please hit the like button. My friends at Morgan & Morgan are listening. And you know what? They're thankful that you guys are choosing them right now, because when I say to you this, the fee is free. You are understanding what we're talking about. They don't get paid unless you get your fair compensation. If you're hurt or injured on the job, finding an attorney is one of the most important things that you can possibly do for your family. And Morgan & Morgan has been doing this for over 30 years, collecting over $13.5 billion worth of compensation. 800 attorneys all across the country. That's right. Philadelphia, New York, and in Florida. Folks, they go to battle for you. There's no such thing as a fender bender when you go to Morgan & Morgan. The call is free. The consultation's free. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, tell them Big Sil sent you.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.